Welcome to episode 3 of the Build You podcast. I'm Coach Rich Thurman, also known as Coach RT3. Let's get started. So, in this episode, we're talking about the essential business skills that you need as a trainer or coach. One of the things that I think is very important, and all the feedback was great from all the Instagram supporters who commented on this, and this is something that I think most people wish they knew when they entered into personal training or coaching. And that's the business side of things. Remember, training is a business. No matter how you want to slice it, it is a business. And it is a difficult thing to be providing expertise in one area, that area being physical fitness and health and wellness, but then at the same time have to try and be a business owner and business operator. There's so many different things that come with that. And I think when entering this field, most people don't think about these things. They're just like, I just want to work with people. I just want to train people. I just want to help people. And they don't realize that they've got to go down and they've got to start their business. If they're not working for a big box gym, they've got to go down and they've got to start their business at the city. And then if you're going to have an LLC, you've got to go to the state and file your LLC paperwork and do all that different stuff. And every year you've got to fill out all this paperwork and you're getting all this information. And these things are so challenging for somebody who just wants to work with people. And if you're working with people for hours and hours a week, it's hard to manage these two things. So if you're spending 5 or 6 hours a day working with clients, and then you have a couple of hours of programming or whatever you do, and then you've got to tackle this business stuff as well, it can be exhausting. And so it's not an easy job. It's not as glamorous as people make it out to seem. And so the essential business skills that I wish I had known were marketing. Marketing is so essential and important to growing your business. I don't like sales. And so for me, I never wanted to go into a big box gym because I don't want to sell things. I just don't like the salesy sort of tactics that people have. But the thing that you start to realize is if you don't want to sell, you have to become very good at marketing. Right? You have to put the information out there and you have to show what the value is of the thing that you're providing or the products and services that you're giving to the point where all the person is coming in and saying, you know what? I've seen everything I need. I'm ready to sign up. That's my whole thing. I'm not a hard salesman. I've never been a hard salesman. The people I've worked with, I'm like, hey, these are my prices, but let's go through this assessment and let me show you exactly what's going on, and then you decide what it is you want to do. You've seen all the things that I do. And so everything that I do is marketing. And there are ways that we have to market available to us right now that we didn't have 20 years ago. I mean, when I say, or when people who have been in it long enough, when they say, I wish 20 years ago I had known what I know now, the thing is things have changed so much in the last 20 years that it's impossible to have known. It's impossible, and it's irrelevant. What you know now is virtually irrelevant to then, because then it was a totally different game. We were totally limited by the constraints of our city, the constraints of our neighborhood, the constraints of the people we directly came into contact with. But now, more than ever, you have an opportunity to market free. Obviously, the algorithm is going to do some things, but you still have the opportunity to market to so many people all over the world, not just in your city, all over the country, all over the state, wherever, because you have social media. I'll tell you a quick story. When I used to work in a small town just outside of, it's in the Bay Area, but it's just outside of the main Bay Area, just on the other side of Oakland. And if you're familiar with the Bay Area, this town is called Orinda. It was a predominantly white area. It's predominantly older. And I had an opportunity to go and work out there because there was a facility and I had a couple of clients and there was a facility nearby, and that facility was allowing me to rent space. Once I started renting space, people started seeing me work with people, and people began to ask and inquire about training with me. Well, I wanted to do some group training. I wanted to do some other things. I wanted to build and kind of expand out on my business because I wanted to earn more money. And at the time, one of the ways in which you needed to market or get your information out was to make flyers. And so I make flyers. I post them at all the coffee shops. I post them at all of the businesses that would allow me, the cycling shops, all the businesses that will allow me to post the flyers. But that's just not enough. So what was the other option? The other option was mailers. So you had to go to a place that would quote you a price, and then they would mail these pamphlets or flyers out to all of the addresses in a specific area based on the price that you pay. But that only goes out once. And most of the time when a mailer comes to their house, what do you do with mailers? I know I just chuck them in the trash. Like, I don't do anything with them. So you're basically throwing money away. You're printing all of these flyers. They're nice and neat, and oh my God, this is so beautiful. This postcard size flyer is so beautiful. You got stacks of thousands of them, and you take them to this facility, and they mail them out to all these people, and they just throw them in the trash. So you've just wasted hundreds of dollars doing that. But that's how you had to do it. Either that, or you had to go door to door and drop those mailers into everybody's house on your own time. And as we know, time costs. Time is money. So you have to have the time to be able to go and drive around, and you're using gas and all these different things. Now, I'm not saying don't hustle, right? That's the ultimate back of the trunk, selling out of the back of the trunk hustle right there, is taking that mailer and actually putting it in somebody's mailbox yourself. What I'm saying is now there's an entire marketplace where people are on social media. People are on Instagram. People are on Twitter. People are on these different spaces. Not all spaces give you the same opportunities to market yourself well, but it's available. And then unlike the early 2000s, you can now build an easy email list. There's a lot of different companies out there that provide you an opportunity to build email lists. And so with those email lists, you can direct market to people in ways that you never could before. And so when we talk about essential business skills, marketing is a major, major, major key for having a successful or building a better business than you currently have. The other thing that I think is very, very important is understanding branding. Not everyone understands their brand or what they offer or what they do or who they are. Understanding your brand is key, because what is it that you stand for? What is it that you embody? Who are you? A quick story. My partner, Nat, who we created the Upgrade Guys together, we branded the Upgrade Guys with everything that's about us. It's about what we believe in. It's about what we stand for. It's about who we are. And when we started making the classes, it was during 2020, and we were changing the world. We were changing the narratives. People were out in the streets. They were talking about things that were important to the both of us. And our brand is no nonsense. Even if you come to Coach RT3, you're going to get no nonsense. It's no bullshit with me, right? I'm going to be straight up. I'm going to call bullshit when I see it. I'm going to call clown shit when I see it. That's just how I operate. I'm too old to be dealing with, dancing around people's feelings about things. This is how we operate. We believe in equality. We believe in social justice. We believe in all of these things. And so that's a part of our brand, and that's who we are. We're not for everybody. And you have to understand that. There's a lot of brands out there that are trying to be for everybody. We're not trying to, if you are racist or whatever the case is, we just don't get down with you, period. And so our content and our stuff is not for you, and we're not making it for you, and we don't care. That's just the bottom line. And so when it comes to branding, you need to understand and decide like what it is your brand is going to stand for and what your brand is going to be. a lot of people are unwilling to plant their hard flag down and say, this is my brand, this is who I am. I'm not going to just cater to everybody because I need money. That's selling your soul, right? There's a lot of people on social media who are unwilling to speak up, who have massive followings, and they grow that following and they grow that audience, unwilling to show who they truly are inside, but catering to everyone just because it provides them with a better bottom line. I'm willing to go broke than to cater to racists, sexists, Nazis, whoever. So that's just my brand. But when you're building a brand, you have to understand that, and you have to think about those things. And so that's one of the things that I think a lot of people, the feedback we got when I posted this Instagram questionnaire is like, man, I wish I knew that I needed to brand, and I wish I knew that I was my brand, right? You are your brand, especially if you're an individual. If you have other people working for you, then you have to consider that. But at the same time, I would argue that when you're hiring or when you're bringing people into the fold of your brand or your company or whatever the case is, that you're bringing in people who carry and believe in what it is you stand for. And so if that's the case, then they would be just fine pushing and pulling the rope the same direction that you are. The last thing I think a lot of people wish they knew is they had a successful kind of elevator pitch, right? I used to hear this a lot in my younger days as a coach, and I would think to myself, well, what does that even mean? I don't even understand what that means. And you need something that's short and concise that gets across to everyone what it is you do really quickly. Like, I help people bridge the gaps between rehab, training, and their active lifestyle. People are able to say, oh, so you're somewhere in between rehab and all the things I want to do. You're not rehab, but you're not exactly a sports performance coach. You're somewhere in the space of helping me as a general human being become better at the things I love and my active lifestyle. So I think it's important that you decide what your elevator pitch is, what your one-liner is, because that's going to show up everywhere. That should go in your bios, on Instagram, on every social media platform. That should go everywhere you can put it, because you're trying to tell people, you're trying to let people know exactly what it is you do and exactly where it is that you fit within their life. The more you can do that, the better you can weed out all the other stuff, right? Because people don't come to me saying, yo, hey, Rich, I need to lose 10 pounds quick before the summertime. They don't. Because they know that that's not what I'm about. That's not what I'm doing with people. Now, can you lose weight working with me? Sure. But that's not our main objective. Our main objective is to help you move better, feel better, and do more. And so if you're doing more, it's likely that you're going to change your body composition. But I'm an educator. I'm helping you understand your body. I'm helping you understand how to use your body, how to fuel your body, how to move better, how to do all of the things that you need with your body that should have been taught to us as kids in middle school and high school, but was never actually taught to us about our bodies. So it's important that we have that pitch and we understand that that pitch is going to take us a long way. And it's going to help provide our audience with a better understanding of exactly what it is that we do. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for our next episode where we'll be talking about communication. And as I said, you can find all the ways to get connected with me in the show notes.